dignitaries, honorable guests, and the member of the media. A very good morning to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CMS Infosystems Limited, we extend a very warm welcome to all of you and thank you for gathering so early in the morning for a truly memorable occasion. Post the successful IPO, we are here to commemorate the joyous and significant milestone for the listing of CMS Infosystems Limited in the August portals of BSE. Before we begin, may I request everyone to please keep your mask on at all times and keep your phones on silent. And now I request everyone to kindly stand in attention of the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जगति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. Kindly take your seats. As we proceed, kindly allow me to share a bit about the company. CMS Infosystems Limited was founded in the year 2008. CMS promoter, Sion Investments Holding Private Limited, is an affiliate of Bearing Private Equity Asia, a private equity firm that has over $27 billion in assets under management as of June 30, 2021. CMS plays an important role in connecting commerce and facilitate the flow of money across the country. The integrated B2B outsourcing platform of CMS caters to banks, financial institutions, organized retail, corporates, and e-commerce companies in India. Ladies and gentlemen, India is the third largest ATM market in the world based on the number of installed ATMs, and CMS is India's largest cash management company based on the number of ATM points and number of retail pickup points, as well as one of the largest ATM cash management companies worldwide based on number of ATM points. CMS business segments include ATM cash management, retail cash management, currency chest automation, cash in transit, bullion logistics service, banking automation, brown label ATM, and managed services, software solutions, AI-based remote monitoring, and card personalization services. Now, on this momentous occasion, we would like to welcome the various dignitaries and prominent personalities who have joined us today with a bouquet of flowers. We have with us here the management team and board of directors of CMS Infosystems, and we welcome them all as I introduce Mr. Rajiv Kaul, Executive Vice Chairman, Whole-Time Director and CEO, CMS Infosystems Limited. Welcoming next, Mrs. Shyamala Gopinath, Chairperson and Independent Director, CMS Infosystems Limited. Welcoming next, Mr. Ashish Agarwal, Non-Executive Director, CMS Infosystems Limited. We would also like to welcome some prominent dignitaries from CMS Infosystems Limited who are joining us virtually. Please welcome with me John Eric Salata, CEO of Bearing Private Equity Asia, Mr. Jimmy Martani, Non-Executive Director, CMS Infosystems Limited, and Mr. Manjunath Rao, President Managed Services, CMS Infosystems Limited. Next, I go on to welcome Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO, BSE. We would also like to extend a very warm welcome to the book running lead managers who have played an integral role in the success of this IPO. And we have with us Mr. Atul Mehra, Managing Director and Co-CEO, JM Financial Limited. Mr. Salil Pitle, Joint MD and Co-CEO, Axis Capital Limited. Mr. Dharmesh Mehta, MD and CEO, DAM Capital Advisors Limited. Head Equity Capital Markets, Jefferies India Private Limited. Thank you. We will now commence this auspicious occasion by the lighting of the traditional ceremonial lamp, for which I request Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan from BSE and the board members and management team of CMS Infosystems Limited to please come forward. Inviting Mr. Rajiv Kaul, Mrs. Shamila Gopinath, Mr. Ashish Agarwal, Mr. Pankaj Khandelwal, Mr. Anush Raghavan, and the book running lead managers, Mr. Atul Mehra, Mr. Salil Pitle, Mr. Dharmesh Mehta, and Mr. Aman Puri. Thank you everyone for joining this auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tradition of a new and prosperous beginning for CMS Infosystems Limited. And now I would like to invite Mr. Atul Mehra, Managing Director and Co-CEO, JM Financial Limited, to please take the mic for the opening remarks. Mr. Atul Mehra.
बैनर है ना, बैनर जा पिक्चर खराब होती है। Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is an auspicious day as CMS Infosystem, popularly referred to as CMS, is listing on the stock exchanges. Right from our very first meeting, we have, as a team, always believed in the success of the issue and for multitude reasons. A few notables among them being CMS is the largest, and I underline the word largest, cash management companies provide services which include a whole host of services including ATM, retail cash management, cash in transit, catering to a broad set of investors, outsourcing requirements of banks, financial institutions, organized retails, e-commerce companies in India. What is interesting out over here, CMS services around 133,000 business points which are spread across, and I would again use the length and breadth of our country, around covering 97% of the districts in India, which is a huge task, which is a huge network, which really penetrates deep into our country. Contrary to the popular perception, cash still continues to dominate prominent and be a prominent mode of payment. And almost 87% of the merchants, according to a survey, reported that majority of the transactions still happen in cash, which is a very important point out here. Again, continuing our journey, when we were on the road shows, investors were highly impressed with the enthusiasm and confidence which was displayed by both Rajiv and Pankaj when we were talking to various investors for the business model and the business model that they have developed, which is a free cash flow positive generating business. Again, very, very different from the others that we have seen. Today, at an IPO price of 216 per share, the company makes a stellar debut, and I use the word debut in cricket parlance, where you make a debut at a market capitalization of 3,200 crores, and we hope this climbs just like India's batting score keeps climbing. So you will see the score inching up, and we will await to see a stellar listing soon. With today's listing, the responsibility of the management has grown manyfold. From having one or few shareholders, today you have around 250,000 shareholders who are looking forward to the company's performance. I would like to take this opportunity and thank everyone who have supported us for the successful execution of the IPO, particularly the three regulators, the SEBI, Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange, for the support that we got from them. Again, thanking all the intermediaries, all the brokers, the PR firm, the registrar to the issue, who played a stellar role in making sure that the transaction gets completed in a time-bound manner. With these few words, I would like to take a pause and invite Rajiv to make his opening remarks. Over to you, Rajiv.
After listening to you, I think I should track cricket more than the stock markets. There may be a strong correlation which I don't know about. Good morning. Today is a very important milestone for a phenomenal journey for me and my team. It's a story of survival, growth, and now transformation. It's coincidentally on the last day of a year, which has otherwise been one of the toughest any one of us has seen. So we stand here today in front of you, both humbled and with pride. When I think of where we started 12 years ago at this company, Mokam was there, Pankaj was there. We were in an old ramshackle building in the middle of MIDC and Delhi, which when we stood outside, it was like any other building in Delhi, MIDC, which was 30, 35, 40 years old, looked like a 3-story building. But when you went in, you found like 6 stories inside. So you have to be very careful, especially for a fast walker like me, not to hit your head. because there's a floor within a floor within a floor. And I think that 1 year I spent there, not enough sense in my head. So today, 31st December 2021, we go public. And we have operated till now in a very privileged manner, in a very closely held private equity mode. But we have created value for all our shareholders. The Grover family, which entrusted us with the company then, Blackstone, who owned the company from 2009 to 15, and now Baring Asia from 2015 onwards. And when I reflect back in these 12 years, I think we had more tough years than good years. Yet, we grew our revenues by 6 times, we grew our profit by 10 times. And I think what keeps us thriving, what keeps us ticking, end of the day, the heart and soul of this business is our 23,000 people who are almost like frontline workers, working in remote parts of the country. They turn up to work like clockwork every day. And they do what I feel is an essential service, a very important part of keeping the economy running. And therefore, I want to recognize them, I want to call them out, and I want to applaud them for what they do for us. This day would have been a dream had it not been for the faith the Baring Asia team had in CMS through very trying times. The team led by John, Jimmy, Cosmo, Ashish, Hemant, Joshua, and so many others who bought the company and we faced demonetization and they were wondering what happened. But they kept the faith. They have supported the company's dream to go public. Their contributions have been immense. But the one I'll be eternally grateful for is the fact that they helped us put together a fantastic board. We've had leaders like Ms. Shamala, Chris, Tapan Ray on our board, giving us their wisdom and their support over the years. I am deeply indebted to my management team, most of whom have been together for more than a decade. They are the ones who make sure that every year at CMS is better than the last one. Manju, Anush, Pankaj, thank you for your belief and staying the course. I'm very grateful to my family for the patience in me in trying times, and also enabling me to bring my best to work every day, and never doubting what I have put into this company. To help us go public, I want to applaud my BRN friends who have become like family now. They have batted for us on the front foot, a little too aggressively at times, I guess. But I think their passion on our business clearly shows, their understanding of our business clearly shows. I suspect all of you are investors in the company at this stage, which I won't know. But thank you for helping marquee anchor investors discover us. I'm grateful to our new shareholders, leading ones, domestic, like SBI, ICICI, Birla Mutual Funds, FIIs like Nomura, Watford, Goldman Sachs, and other stellar investors, whether it's Thaleen or Abacus or Think Invest or SBI Life. And as Atul just reminded me, 2.5 lakh other public shareholders. Thank you for putting your faith in us. Thank you for your belief that we will continue to create value for you. As we start operating on a much larger canvas, we promise to bring a better version of ourselves to work. In the last week since we closed the issue, many family and friends have asked me this constant question, how does it feel? What are you feeling? Do you feel happy? Do you feel satisfied? And what does this mean for CMS? I think for all of them I could say that we still have a lot more to do. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Mr. Rajiv Kaul, Executive Vice Chairman, Whole-Time Director and CEO, CMS Infosystems Limited. And now I would like to invite Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO BSE, to please come and share a few words with us. Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan.
So Shri Shamla Gopinath, Chairperson, Independent Director, CMS Infosystems, Shri Rajiv Kaul, Executive Vice Chairman and CEO, CMS Infosystems, Shri Atul Mehra, Shri Salil Pitle, Shri Dharmesh Mehta, Shri Aman Puri, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to all of you here at the BSE Icon to celebrate the equity listings of CMS Infosystems. Earlier, this hall used to be the trading floor of BSE, but now it is used to host events such as today's listings. Most of the activity of the BSE, the world's fastest exchange with a speed of 6 microseconds, which is 10 times faster than any exchange in India, happens at data centers just beside this hall, highlighting the transformation. Today, 1 out of every 3 rupees held by Indians as wealth is represented in this hall. BSE is India's leading and most diverse exchange, providing an efficient and transparent markets for a bouquet of products, including equities, debt, currencies, commodities, interest rates, mutual funds, insurance, agriculture, and many more. Over last 147 years, BSE has put forward its platform for over 9.1 crore investors to trade in a highly secure and reliable environment that offers enhanced liquidity, diversity of participants, innovative technology, and trustworthy clearing services. The BSE platform is designed to not only provide liquidity but also bring efficiency and transparency in the price discovery mechanism for listed companies. We are confident that by listing on BSE, CMS Infosystems will not only be able to enhance its visibility and profile, but also broaden its investor base, which we hope will support its business expansion plans. I congratulate the management of CMS Infosystems, merchant bankers, Axis Capital, DAM Capital Advisors, Jefferies India, JM Financial, and everyone else involved with this issue for a successful listing as they forge forward in their business. BSE looks forward to continue being CMS Infosystems' preferred fundraising partner as it expands its reach and grows in scale. With that, I conclude my speech. Thank you very much and wish you all the best for the new year that is coming. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to now invite Mrs. Shamla Gopinath, Chairperson and Independent Director, CMS Infosystems Limited, to please come and address the gathering. Mrs. Shamla Gopinath.
Shri Ashish Chauhan, MD CEO of BSE, Rajiv Kaul, Vice Chairman and CEO of CMS, of course you all know, Ashish Agarwal, Hemant and all others from the Bearings team, and of course John and Jimmy, who are I think joining in this event online, all my other board colleagues, investment bankers, merchant bankers, and all of you who have supported this issue, and the entire team of CMS and other guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to participate in the listing ceremony of CMS Information Systems today. Of course, this is the first time I am participating in any listing event, and I am glad that I am doing it for CMS. It's a matter of pride for the company to be listed on the BSE, and particularly, I must say, the Indian exchanges. I have been associated with the company for the last 4 years, and clearly it has evolved into a multi-services platform, and like everybody else said, it's really a market leader. I still recall my earlier years in the Reserve Bank when I was in charge of the issue department in one of the regional offices of Bangalore, where I used to handle all this entire supply logistics of collecting currency from the mints and from the presses, and then our job was only to reach it to the banks. And only now I realize the amount of complexities, the huge logistics involved in reaching that cash into every nook and corner of the country. At that time I didn't even think of an institution like CMS, and I'm so glad that such an institution exists, which is, like Rajiv said, really in the service of common man. It's an essential service. The CMS has demonstrated reliance even in the worst of times, in the face of shocks. And like white swan events, like whether I don't even demonetization, must say, definitely it was a shock. And then now the pandemic, and like Raji was mentioning, I'm sure there have been a few more. And I think the credit for this resilience and sustainability of the company clearly goes to the leadership of CMS under Raji, that has weathered all the crises in order and built the institution to deliver growth and profitability. I think that's very, very significant. And in fact, today, CMS is indeed an integral part of banking and commerce in India through a leadership role in India's cash cycle and excellence in service. Like I think Atul mentioned, that there has been no doubt a rise in digital payments, but the volume of banknotes in circulation has also been growing. And I just picked up a few numbers from the annual report of RBI. The volume of banknotes has doubled in the last, of course, maybe decade is not the right benchmark, but even so. Doubled in the last decade from 5,654 crore pieces in 2009-10 to 11,597 crore pieces in 2019, and reached 12,437 pieces as on 31st March 2021. And definitely with the growth of the economy, we might look at different ratios, but certainly cash will continue to be an important lifeline for Indian business and commerce. The company is definitely a very innovative institution, and that's how I have found during my last few years association with the company. And it has a highly motivated and dynamic team, and I'm sure this team will surely lead it forward. It was mentioned that probably it will now have to beat its own benchmarks. I mean, it will have to compete with itself every time. It is indeed gratifying to see CMS enter into the next phase of its corporate journey as a listed company. And even as we welcome 2022, we see CMS as a listed company in 2022. I also welcome the public shareholders. And on behalf of the board of CMS, I would like to assure the new investors that the board will continue to focus on high standards of governance. I use the word continue to focus because even as an unlisted company, the company has really followed all the governance standards. Of course, mutatis mutandis for an unlisted company, but try to always behave as if we are a listed company. I wish the company all success in the future. I wish each of you and your families a very happy and prosperous 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to now invite Mr. Jimmy Mahtani, Non-Executive Director, CMS Infosystems Limited, to address the gathering virtually. Joining us, Mr. Jimmy Mahtani.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Gopinath. Dear Sri Ashi Chauhan, distinguished guests, fellow board members, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you for giving me an opportunity to say a few words. I'd like to say congratulations to all the stakeholders at CMS. What a fantastic journey it's been for the company. And again, I want to thank all of you for your hard work and commitment to the business over the last 7 years under the stewardship of Verin Asia. Also, like Rajiv mentioned, I would again like to recognize our 23,000 team members who've been working day in and day out to provide exceptional services to its customers. for any company, IPO is an extremely important milestone in any company's journey, and we at Bearing Asia are extremely thrilled and excited to be partners to CMS on its listing day. We are very, very proud of the business that Rajiv and team have built over the years. They're truly one of the best leadership teams we've worked with. And again, Rajiv, Pankaj, and Manju, a big thank you from all of us at Bearing Asia. We believe the company is entering its next phase of growth and wealth creation, and it's the right time to list the company. We're excited to have over 250,000 shareholders partner with us through the journey over the coming years. Like Madam Gopinath pointed out, I think CMS has performed exceptionally well while navigating some really tough times. I mean, both demonetization and COVID phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I think the company's performed exceptionally well during these trying times. As everyone has mentioned, if you actually look at the financials, I think you'll see it's consistent market share gain over the years. The company has been really good at expanding its service offerings. If you look at its financial profile, it's been very resilient over the years, and most importantly, the business and company continues to grow profitability. I think this is a very, very high quality business, and we believe the company is the strongest it's ever been, and definitely poised for significant growth in the coming years. On this momentous occasion today, once again, I want to recognize the hard work and commitment and perseverance from Rajiv and the team. I'd also board members, Madam Gopinath, Mr. Ray, Chris, Ashish, and all the other stakeholders who supported the company through this journey. Also, in helping us get here, all the BRLMs and lawyers, accountants, thank you for helping us through the IPO process. I know it's been a long one, and we're pretty excited to be here on the last day of the year. In conclusion, what I'd like to say is I think CMS will continue to capture all the new growth opportunities, strengthen its competitiveness, and strive to deliver higher and more sustainable returns to all its current and future shareholders. We wish the CMS family all the best for the next phase, and for everyone, wishing you a very happy New Year, and a safe and prosperous 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matani. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to commemorate the significance of this beautiful event, we will have an exchange of mementos. First, Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO BSE, will present special mementos to our esteemed dignitaries. And to receive the memento from Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, may I invite Mr. Rajiv Kaul, Executive Vice President, Vice Chairman, Full-Time Director and CEO, CMS Infosystems Limited. Inviting next, Mrs. Shamla Gopinath, Chairperson and Independent Director, CMS Infosystems Limited. Inviting now Mr. Ashish Agarwal, Non-Executive Director, CMS Infosystems Limited. Next we have Mr. Pankaj Khandelwal, President and CFO, CMS Infosystems Limited. Inviting next Mr. Atul Mehra, Managing Director and Co-CEO, JM Financial Limited. Next we have Mr. Salil Pitle, Joint MD and Co-CEO, Axis Capital Limited. Next, Mr. Dharmesh Mehta, MD and CEO, DAM Capital Advisors Limited. Next, we have Mr. Anush Raghavan, President, Cash Management Business, CMS Infosystems Limited. Last but definitely not the least, Mr. Amin Puri, Head Equity Capital Markets, Jefferies India Private Limited. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Rajiv Kaul, Executive Vice Chairman, Whole-Time Director and CEO, CMS Infosystems Limited, to please come and present special mementos to some very special partners whose contributions have been invaluable in the successful listing of CMS Infosystems Limited. To receive the mementos, I invite first Mr. Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan. Ladies and gentlemen, we pause here as we are just a few minutes away from the moment we have been waiting for. In 2 minutes, we will have the very historic moment when CMS Infosystems Limited will see itself listed on the stock exchanges of India. And may I call upon the stage, we already have Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, and I invite CMS Infosystems Management Team, Mr. Rajiv Kaul, Mr. Shamla Gopinath, Mr. Ashish Agarwal, Mr. Pankaj Khandelwal, and Mr. Anush Raghavan. Ladies and gentlemen, when we are 10 seconds to 10, I request all of you to please join me with the countdown. And please be seated as we are trying to capture this historic moment on our cameras at the back. Are we ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Limited is now officially listed on the stock exchanges. It has been a milestone. now continue with our memento ceremony, and I request Mr. Rajiv Kaul to now present the memento to Mr. Atul Mehra, Managing Director and Co-CEO, JM Financial Limited. To receive the memento, I invite next Mr. Salil Pitle, Joint MD and Co-CEO, Axis Capital Limited. Inviting next Mr. Dharmesh Mehta, MD and CEO, DAM Capital Advisors Limited. Next, I invite Mr. Aman Puri, Head Equity Capital Markets, Jefferies India Private Limited. Inviting next Mr. Ravi Dubey from Indus Law Legal Counsel to the BRLMs as to the Indian law. I invite next Mr. Madal Behel, MD, and Mr. Rajesh Chaturvedi, Chairman of Ad Factors, Communications Partner to the offer. Inviting next Mr. Karthik Neelkantan from Link in Time India Private Limited, Registrar to the issue. And lastly, Mr. Manish Ghia, Company Secretary, MG Consulting. We would also like to acknowledge Special Purpose International Legal Counsel to the BRLMs, Ashurst LLP, and Legal Counsel to the promoter selling shareholder as to Indian law, J. Sagar Associates, for their contribution in making this IPO a great success. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Salil Pitle, Joint MD and Co-CEO, Axis Capital Limited, to please come and address the gathering. Mr. Salil Pitle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We at Axis Capital are extremely privileged and honored to be associated as the left lead banker for India's leading B2B outsourcing services company with an integrated business model and market leadership across its business lines. I would like to congratulate Jimmy, Ashish, Hemant, and the entire Baring Private Equity Asia team, along with Rajiv, Anush, Pankaj, and the entire team at CMS for the successful IPO. This successful listing of CMS is really a culmination of a few pointers that I got out of the speeches that were made by Rajiv and Shamala. Clearly, it's a company which has gone through its periods of survival, growth, and continuous transformation. And it's hats off to the company management for having pulled it so very well. Ms. Gopinath talked about governance standards of the highest order, which she has seen from her significant position and her tons of years of experience on the RBI, that here's a company with the highest quality of governance right from its private days, and we have no doubt that this will just continue to build on with it in its public listed days. It's our sincere belief that this company will actively capture more and more growth opportunities, strengthen its competitiveness, continue to remain leadership positions in the spaces that they operate in, and will strive and will be successful in bringing sustainable returns and growth for all its new shareholders. It has been extremely responsive when it was only 7 shareholders. It's got 2.5 lakh shareholders now. Some of the best institutional names are there in this business. They have market leadership positions in a lot of their segments. We have no doubt that this company will continue to work towards ensuring that the shareholders get the right treatment and the perfect returns. At Axis Capital, we will continue to partner with you all throughout this journey and wish you all the very best. Thank you and wish you all a very happy New Year.
Thank you. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Dharmesh Mehta, MD and CEO, DAM Capital, to please come and propose their closing remarks. Mr. Dharmesh Mehta.
Good morning, everyone, to the last day of 2021. What a phenomenal year we had, and the way we all have fought back. So finally this day is ending. It's an honor to have you all here on the auspicious occasion of listing of CMS. Sorry. We at DAM Capital feel extremely proud to have closed the IPO of CMS, which many thought may not happen in the year end, 23rd of December, listing on the last day of the year. But we once again proven it, all my fellow bankers and us, that this is possible. If you're out there and you think that something has to be achieved, it's always possible. So finally, I believe this must be maybe one of the few IPOs I've seen listing on the last day of the year. On behalf of DAM Capital, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Rajiv, Pankaj, and the entire CMS Infosystem team and the Bearings team who put the faith on us to manage this IPO. We are delighted with the good response we have received from the marquee global and domestic investors, which Rajiv mentioned. Just re-emphasizes our confidence in the strong foundation laid out by the company to capitalize on the growth opportunity. Once again, congratulations to the entire Bearings and CMS Infosystems team, and wish you a very happy new year. And I'm very sure 2022 will be again a path-breaking year for the BSE and the NSE. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and as we conclude, we are grateful to BSE, the book running lead managers to the issue, members of the board, well-wishers, shareholders, and all of you who took time to celebrate this momentous occasion with us. Now, may I request the distinguished guests and all the attendees to proceed to the adjoining hall for tea and snacks. Thank you, everyone, once again. Enjoy the last day of the year, and we wish you luck, health, and prosperity for a great new year ahead. Thank you.